Hi guys. Hey, a couple days ago I made a video about this Pertronix 1.5 ohm epoxy filled coil for use in Model A, and I showed it here on my condenser and capacitor tester. Well, there's a couple comments, questions about the condenser and how well what condenser works well with it and such. So I thought I'd make a follow-on video, and what I've done here is I have my capacitor, or I should say condenser and coil tester set up here, and I have a brand new A&L condenser set up here for external testing. These are about the best condensers made for a Model A. They're made in the US. They're made of high temperature materials specifically designed to work in the high heat environment inside a Model A distributor. So they're really good. I've run them in my car and I keep spares around. And so I thought it would be good to show how this works with it, because this tester has an internal condenser, which is normally used, but I can switch to the condenser position here, and that tests any external condenser that I have hooked up. In this case, I've got the new A&L condenser hooked up. Um, I've got it set. I'm gonna set it about 6.3 volts nominal battery voltage, just to show how well it works. And then I'm going to back it down a little bit. So first I'm going to put it back to the internal testing position. I'm going to turn it on. Okay, so right now, let's see. I've got actually a little under 6 volts here. So let me. Okay, so a little over 6 volts, 6.3 volts, something like that. Got a nice hot spark here. Now I'm going to switch to the A&L condenser here. No change in the spark. It works really good. And I can bring it all the way up, and it just fires like crazy all the way up into super range, which is good. So this coil works really well with the A&L condenser. Now I'm going to go ahead and back the voltage down a bit, because when you're starting your car, the voltage drops because the starter draws so much current that the voltage drops going to the coil also. So I want to drop it a little bit just so you can kind of see the effect of that. So let's take it down to about 5.5 volts, about there. Now I still got a good spark here in the good range. This is really good, but as I get up into super range, it starts breaking down a little bit because that voltage is a bit lower at 5.5 volts. It's still great. Now remember, the spark gap, your spark plug and the rotor gap are like 25, 30 thousandths or so, somewhere in that range. So that's the gap that this spark has to jump. As you can see here, that spark is jumping a good ½ an inch or more here. So when you get down, having to jump that rotor gap, even way down here, it's plenty strong. But that's why it's important to make sure your rotor gap is set. It's supposed to be at 25 thousandths. So sometimes it's hard to get that close with the reproduction distributor bodies. But you can see this works really well with the A&L condenser. Got a good hot spark. Even at this lower voltage, it works really well. So I'm going to be putting this coil in my 31 Model A pickup this afternoon, and if the weather's good, I'll take it out for a test drive, but I think this is going to work really well. So hey, thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful.